lashed by the full force of the solar wind without hope of life. And what about Mars? Well, this is the planet where we hope to find life, or which will help us understand the life process. In 1965, Mariner 4 got our first close-up photographs of Mars. 4 years later, Mariner 6 and 7 returned for a more detailed look. They sent back fascinating pictures of the rugged surface and the polar ice caps. When you watched this on TV, did you really feel that the spacecraft sending back the pictures was actually 60 million miles away? Can you imagine 60 million miles? The next step will be to orbit Mars. This unmanned flight is scheduled for March in 1971. Then we'll colonize it with machines. Our Mayflowers and our Pilgrim Fathers on Mars will be Viking, orbiters and landers. On the way down, the landers will measure the thin atmosphere. While overhead, the orbiters make related measurements. Then, for at least 90 days, our mechanical astronauts will take pictures, analyze the soil, sniff the strange air of Mars, feel for moisture. Thus, we will obtain information about Mars from the ground up to the limits of its atmosphere. Perhaps the greatest interest will be in the lander's search for signs of life. We're pretty certain now that there is no man-like life there, but we were not always men. We were once just cells. Before that, we were perhaps just molecules of protein. And we still want to know if there's that kind of life, or if sometime in the past, life did exist on Mars, and what could have happened to it. All of this will lead up to the ultimate exploration by man himself on Mars. The outer planets, on the other hand, are entirely different from the inner planets. On Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, there may be no place to land, stand, or walk. They're all several times the size of Earth, but they may not have a solid surface to land on. About the fifth one, Pluto, we don't know enough to call it either solid or gaseous. Our spacecraft will leave the Earth for Jupiter in 1972. It will be a 400 million mile journey, and it will take almost 2 years. Jupiter is the largest of all planets, 11 times the diameter of Earth and over 300 times as massive, but a quarter of the density. We will want to know what causes the color changes in the bands of clouds. What causes the mysterious red spot that drifts around the planet. And we'll want to know if before the Earth became what it is, it was perhaps first like this. A mass of gas and dust and vapor. A condensing part of a nebula, out of which the sun was also forming. The protoplanet, caught by the mother star's gravity, turning eternally in orbit, condensing into stone, into rock, destined to develop life, and then perhaps to become, in the end, like Mercury, an airless rock baking in the sun. To go to the planets beyond Jupiter will be a journey, an odyssey of years. To do so, our spacecraft will have to have an operating life far surpassing any we have planned before. Moreover, these planets are so far away, we shall have to take advantage of special conditions to reach them. In the period 1976 to 1980, they will be in an unusual alignment that will enable us to go to all of them. And this alignment won't happen again for over 179 years. The last time the planets approached anything like this grouping was when Thomas Jefferson was President of the United States. And you'll remember it was he who sent Lewis and Clark to explore the West.